Ladies and gentlemen, Internet, my name is Peridiam, and welcome to the final boss of Survivor Challenges. While many Survivor puzzles are difficult, the infamous word scramble is head and shoulders above the rest. With so many combinations of letters and repeat letters, time and again it has stumped players for upwards of an hour, where they just stand there, frazzled, confused, and hopeless. So hopeless, had they only taken the time to practice. On that note, let it be known before we get to the first fail that this video would not exist without the help of Vexel's puzzles. They assisted in organizing all of the information that allowed me to better uncover this top 10. They run a shop that sells replica Survivor puzzles, and if you're interested in buying one and seeing how you would fare at them, check them out in the description below. You can also use my name to get a discount. Likewise, I want to give a shout out to Morris Greenberg, a high-level Scrabble player who reached out to me and provided me some insight into how to best solve word scrambles. He also ranked every Survivor Scramble in terms of difficulty, which made me feel better about assembling this top 10. So Vexels and Morris, thank you guys. And on that note, let's look at 10 times Survivor players have failed to put these together and... well, I guess we'll see if there's anything we can glean. We'll just go chronologically to keep it simple. The first major fail is from Season 5, Survivor Thailand, and it is the infamous car reward challenge where the entire tribe fails at first to find their first letter. Jeff Probst tells them that their first letter is right underneath their feet, and then they all just go running into the jungle and then have to all circle back. And then later on, the true fail is when Brian somehow misspells road trip. Jeff is confused at how this happened. Brian says the words out loud, and then Ted overhears him and swoops in to take the win. This was such a laughable mistake that I gotta think Brian threw this and didn't want the car or any curses that came with it.
You were looking for 8 letters total. You're standing on the first one. Survivors ready? Yeah. Go! You're standing on the first one, guys.
Where are we going?
You gotta go back to
that first one.
Hey, you got one underneath. That's it. You're standing on your first one. Oh, what are you spelling?
Road trip.
That's not road trip. 10 wins reward.
Yeah, baby! That was ball game! You, baby!
10, what was the word?
Shouldn't have yelled it out.
The second major fail takes us to Season 7 Pearl Islands with one of the most unique word scrambles Survivor has ever seen. This was actually a challenge created by a fan of the show, and it's the only time in over 2 decades of the series where we have seen this type of scramble occur. This challenge had players take the letters from the name of the season and rearrange them to create a bunch of other words. The first player to create 20 new words would win, and this really opens the door for a lot of fails to occur. Half the tribe gets eliminated for spelling errors, but then Burton wins by the end. However, after the tribe had left the challenge with Burton wearing the immunity necklace, it turned out the producers failed to notice that Burton spelled the word liaison incorrectly. And so Jeff had to get the cast back to the challenge site where he eliminated Burton and had the remaining 3 players compete in a tiebreaker. So not only did Burton fail, but so did the producers.
Burton's called it. Check his board. Burton wins immunity. Nicely done. Yo, survivors, come back. Huddle up right in here. Do you see what word I'm looking at that's wrong? I didn't catch it. Liaison has another I. That, I'm sorry, is not yours.
The third fail had to be on this list, even though it's less a failure of the word scramble and more just, well, it's from Season 10. Survivor Palau. And yeah, some of you probably already know where I'm going with this. The Blue Oolong tribe failed at a lot, and that included the word scramble. The producers made this type of challenge even trickier though, because not only was there a word scramble, but to find the right letters, you had to assemble a jigsaw puzzle to form a word search, which then led to the word scramble. It was a lot of puzzles on top of each other, and Oolong failed right at the start. They couldn't even put their jigsaw together, and only once they did, they had to start cheating off the opposing Karor tribe to even stand a chance. And they still lost. Is anyone surprised?
Out there.
This is not it. How we had before. Wait.
Oolong's struggling to get the puzzle together. Karor's already finding words. Steph not embarrassed to just look next door.
Oh, no, not now.
Kobe gonna cover it up now. Victory at sea. Karor is right. Core wins immunity again.
The fourth fail takes us to the following season with Survivor Guatemala, where we saw a pre-merge early individual immunity challenge occur where the players had to open bags containing the letters and then assemble them to form 2 words. Now this challenge occurred at a double boot in the pre-merge, and I think knowing the context for the failure lightens the blowback a bit. As Rafe is trying to figure out the words, Judd is struggling to open his bags, and as he's standing over Rafe, he figures out the answer before he can even put it together. The problem is that he then says the answer out loud, which allows Rafe to assemble the words and win the challenge. Judd admits he was a buffoon for doing this. That said, kind of like Brian from Thailand, the first fail in this video, I think Judd was trying to prevent a certain player, Margaret, from winning, and so as long as anyone else won the challenge but her, he didn't care, even if he looked pretty stupid in the process.
2-word phrase. When you think you have it, yell it out.
Ancient ruin, ancient ruin. Ancient ruin.
2-word phrase. When you think you have it, yell it out. Got it. Stop! Rafe has it first.
Damn!
Man, I'm so close.
I had it. Next time I gotta keep my mouth shut, man.
So, Judd, you figure out the phrase and say it, and Rafe gets it.
I didn't know I was that smart, man.
The fifth fail goes to Season 22, Redemption Island, and it happens really late in the season at the Final 4 Immunity Challenge. This word scramble involved another unique pattern type that we've only ever seen twice, reoccurring in Survivor Philippines 3 seasons later, and it had the players unfolding 3-dimensional pieces to form letters. The phrase itself wasn't so tough, only you are safe. The failure, however, is that Ashley willingly helps Rob, her biggest competition, and vice versa, complete the word scramble. Jeff even remarks how this strategy is bizarre. Now both Rob and Ashley were stumped, so they didn't actually help each other that much, but to make matters worse, Ashley literally had the words only and safe correctly spelled, and even at another point had you are also correctly spelled, and yet somehow still doesn't put them together to form the phrase. I don't get how, but Rob was faster and eventually figured it out and won, and yeah. A strange moment all around.
Let's work together.
Yeah.
I don't have anything yet. You?
Very unusual on day 38 in the final challenge for $1 million to work with someone else. Rob is saying he's got nothing going. Ashley's still saying she has nothing going. The only question is, are they telling each other the truth? Rob's starting to put some words together. Is he right? Only you are safe. He is. Yeah! Rob Morano wins final immunity!
The sixth fail is from Season 28, Survivor Cagayan, and it happens in Episode 9 at a reward challenge. The cast is split into 2 teams, and the iconic team of Tony, Cass, Trish, and Wu are the first team to figure out what the phrase is going to look like. Cass believes the phrase is worth fighting for, and so her team makes a mad dash to put that together, but in the process, Spencer on the other team realizes what they're assembling and then uses his survivor brain to remember that Jeff doesn't say worth fighting for, he says worth playing for. After telling his team, they seize the moment and usurp the win.
We gotta just focus on our own. Okay, okay,
Spencer and Tasha look next door.
Yeah, that's it. It's not it.
Yes, it is. Maybe it is.
Where's the white going?
And they stole it. Worth playing for.
From this point forward, the Survivor producers really ramp up the difficulty, as we see the 7th fail being the infamous A Reward with All the Fixins from Season 30, Worlds Apart. This one is a phrase out of left field, and it left the cast stumped for the longest amount of time we have ever seen in Survivor history. It took the cast over an hour to figure this one out, which made the physical part of the challenge before we got here kinda laughable. Just imagine standing in the hot sun, staring at this board for over an hour. I'm sure they were fixing for a wish at any moment.
Been on for 30 seasons. I say the same 200 words over and over and over and over and over. I'm in therapy, I say the words so often.
Is that a W or an
It's a W.
We are 1 hour into solving this puzzle.
This is killing me.
This is now officially the longest word puzzle in our history.
He's giving us hints. Oh no.
One of those commercials. And if you order now, you get this with this and this. Complete set. Everything you need. You can see the energy for the first time in this challenge. Smiles. Red thinks they have it. A reward with all the fixins. Mike, Carolyn, Will, win reward.
Continuing the trend from number 7, the 8th fail is from season 33, Millennials versus Gen X, and it is officially the longest word scramble to this day. Even though it takes this cast over 45 minutes to figure it out, I do give them props given how difficult it was going to be in the first place. Actually, we may as well keep going and say the same thing for the 9th fail, which happens in the next season, Game Changers, as a pattern emerges with this word scramble mimicking the previous one, also being 30 letters long, and it takes the returning players even longer to put together, nearly an hour. Which then in hindsight makes the Worlds Apart scramble even more impressive of a failure, given they had even less letters and it took them longer. Regardless, these are exceedingly difficult scrambles to complete. The high-level Scrabble player I talked to ranked them as the most difficult that we have ever seen on the show, so maybe they shouldn't be on this list.
We have been out here a long time.
It's something they're playing tonight. Somebody loses somebody.
All right.
No, just do it, Dave, just do it!
Millennials think they have it out of nowhere. Say it.
Somebody loses their play tonight.
Rarely do puzzles go this long, but rarely are they this difficult.
11-letter words.
As Survivor continues to evolve, so do the puzzles.
Reinventing. That's good.
Could they have pulled it out of thin air?
Yeah.
Zeke seems certain. Andrea seems certain.
Yeah.
Say it.
Reinventing how this game is played!
Let's end this top 10 with the final failure, another unique type of word scramble, one that involves balancing blocks, also while unscrambling them. The unscrambling isn't actually the difficult part, as we'll go on to see in season 35, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. It's more so the balancing bit. This is gonna be a difficult challenge. The blocks fall off quite easily, and the phrase is actually known from the get-go. It's the season name, so what's the failure? It turns out that in the case of Ben, he put his U upside down. Ben finished the challenge first, but didn't have his U right side up, which meant it was wrong. He would have won the challenge had this not been the case, but he missed that slight detail. At one point, Devin also had an E facing the wrong way, which would have been wrong, but several S blocks could be either side up. Those letters didn't matter. The U though, that's all on you, Ben.
Places another letter. Ben has 4 letters left.
Jeffrey?
Ben thinks he has it. No, something is not right. Now Ben is panicking, racing to get back out there, and he loses blocks. Ben loses almost everything. Disaster for Ben. Chrissy has it. Chrissy's back. Chrissy wins her 4th individual immunity challenge.
And those are 10 times Survivor players utterly failed the RAOD Scarmble challenge. And that's only 10 examples out of a total of 47 times this challenge has occurred, with 29 of the 40 seasons featuring at least one of these 9 types of scrambles and over 200 players competing in them. Yeah, there's a lot of footage to sift through. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. A huge shout to my patrons for assisting me in unscrambling your names on the screen. Another huge shout out to Vexel's Puzzles for helping me put this together. And in the end, on your way out, don't forget that every typo in the comment section is just a word scramble if you really think about it. And I will see you in the next one once I unscramble what these votes are trying to say.
I'll read the votes. First vote. I know how to spell it. 2 L's and 1 P on either end. Well, for the first time, I have a vote. I have no idea who it belongs to. Who wrote Bye Bye Denver Diva? Who's the name? Gandia. In the future, write a name down, okay? Enough with the nicknames.